As a doctor, I'm begging you, don't ignore these stroke and heart attack signs. Have you ever felt your arm go numb, your speech slur, or your vision blur, only for it to go away minutes later? Most people ignore these signs, but they could be your final warning before a deadly stroke or silent heart attack. A transient ischemic attack, TIA, often called a mini-stroke, isn't harmless. It's a flashing red alert that your brain, heart, and blood vessels are in crisis. But millions of older adults shrug it off because they feel better later. They don't realize that a full stroke often follows within days or weeks. In this video, you'll discover the 3 hidden causes of a TIA that most doctors don't explain. The truth behind how cholesterol, blood sugar, and blood pressure connect, and how to disarm this ticking time bomb before it explodes in your brain. Don't wait until you can't move, speak, or open your eyes again. Let's break it down, starting now. This is what happened to Raymond, 67 years old, living in South Carolina. It was a quiet Saturday morning. Raymond was out in his backyard pulling weeds like he always did. The breeze was cool, the sun gentle. He enjoyed the peace. Taking care of his garden helped him relax. But suddenly, as he bent over to tug at a stubborn patch, his right hand stopped responding. He tried to stand up, but the right side of his face drooped. He called out to his wife, but his tongue twisted, his speech slurred into nonsense. And then, just as quickly as it started, it passed. Raymond washed his face, took a deep breath, and said, "Must have been low blood sugar." 10 days later, Raymond had a full-blown stroke. This time, he collapsed in the kitchen, unable to move the right side of his body. It took him 6 months of rehab to walk again. He never regained full use of his right hand. What if this had happened to you? Would you brush it off or take it as the final warning your body was trying to give? We're going to break down one of the most frightening warning signs your body can send, the transient ischemic attack, or TIA. Many people call it a mini-stroke. I will explain the 3 ways a TIA can happen and peel back the many layers of its causes. You might be surprised by the real culprits behind a stroke that doctors don't often mention. Finally, I will offer ways to prevent and recover from one.
It's important to understand that a TIA is a temporary episode where your neurological function is suddenly disrupted because a part of your brain, spinal cord, or even your eye isn't getting enough blood. Its symptoms can appear and disappear within 24 hours. This temporary nature causes many people to let their guard down. But that is a serious mistake. A TIA is a major risk factor, and statistics show that many people who experience a TIA will face a full-blown stroke not long after. So, what are those warning signs? Pay attention to anything that happens suddenly. Sudden weakness or numbness on one side of your body. This is a phenomenon known as contralateral paralysis because the nervous system in your brain is cross-wired. An injury to the left hemisphere of the brain will affect the right side of the body. Sudden slurred speech or inability to find words. Sudden loss of vision or confusion. These are red alert signals. To truly understand and prevent a TIA, we need to get to the root of the problem. The 3 main mechanisms behind these attacks. Let's start with the first one, called an embolus. What is an embolus? Imagine you have this plaque in your arteries, made up of cholesterol, calcium, and fibrous tissue. A piece of that plaque breaks off and then blocks a blood vessel somewhere else in your body. That's what will cause a TIA or a stroke. The second mechanism, a thrombus. A thrombus is also a blood clot, but it forms and causes a blockage right in one spot. The most common place for this to happen is in the atrium of the heart. Think of the atrium as a priming pump. A condition called atrial fibrillation, or AFib, causes this pump to quiver chaotically instead of contracting firmly. This allows blood to pool and swirl in the corners of the atrium, creating the perfect conditions for a clot to form. When this clot gets big enough, it will either block blood flow right there, or if it gets pushed out of the heart, it becomes an embolus. The third mechanism, an aneurysm. This is when a weak spot on an artery wall balloons out under the constant pressure of blood flow. If this balloon bursts in the brain, it causes internal bleeding, an extremely dangerous type of stroke.
Now, let's peel back the layers of causes. This is the most important part. So why does an embolus form in the first place? Many people are quick to blame high cholesterol, but that's only the end of the story. For plaque to build up, there must first be initial damage to the artery wall. So what causes that first scratch? The answer lies in 2 often overlooked factors: chronic inflammation caused by high insulin and a vitamin C deficiency. When you eat too many processed foods and sugar, your body enters a state of insulin resistance, and your insulin levels are constantly high. This condition not only causes system-wide inflammation, but also depletes vitamin C, a crucial nutrient for repairing and maintaining the flexibility of your blood vessel walls. When the artery walls become inflamed and aren't properly repaired, they become rough and sticky. This is when cholesterol gets a chance to cling to them, followed by calcium and fibrous tissue, gradually building up plaque. So cholesterol isn't the main culprit, it's just an opportunist, cleaning up a scene already damaged by high insulin and a lack of vitamin C. Next, let's look at a thrombus and atrial fibrillation. What causes the heart's electrical system to become chaotic? Once again, the answer isn't in the heart itself, but in your mineral balance. Specifically, potassium and magnesium. These two minerals are key to every electrical signal in your body. When you're deficient in them, your heart rhythm can become irregular. And what's the root cause of this deficiency? Insulin resistance. When you're insulin resistant, your cells not only have trouble absorbing sugar, but they also struggle to absorb potassium. It's as if the cell's door has been locked. Even if you eat plenty of potassium-rich vegetables, your body can't use it effectively. Therefore, to stabilize your heart rhythm and prevent atrial fibrillation, you don't just need to supplement with minerals, you have to fix the root problem of insulin resistance.
Before we continue, if you're finding this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel. Now for aneurysms. What causes an aneurysm? Picture your artery wall like a high-quality garden hose, both flexible and strong. An aneurysm happens when a spot on that hose wall weakens and starts to bulge out like a balloon. The million-dollar question is, why would an artery wall, designed to withstand pressure for decades, become weak? The answer lies in a two-front attack. 1. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is a destructive force, constantly pushing on that weak spot on the artery wall, causing it to swell larger every day. But it's the source of high blood pressure that we need to dissect. Science has clearly shown that one of the main culprits is insulin resistance. When your body no longer responds effectively to insulin, it doesn't just lead to fat storage and high blood sugar. It also causes your arteries to become stiffer and makes your kidneys retain sodium and water. Stiffer blood vessels plus a higher blood volume equals a perfect formula for high blood pressure. Furthermore, a lack of essential minerals like potassium also contributes to this problem, as potassium plays a key role in relaxing blood vessel walls. 2. A strong force can't do much damage if the wall is still solid. But what happens if that wall is being eaten away from the inside? This is where other factors come into play. Smoking is a prime example. It directly reduces the amount of oxygen in your blood, causing the cells lining your artery walls to suffocate, weaken, and lose their ability to repair themselves. And the most important and most often underestimated factor is a vitamin C deficiency. Vitamin C is not just an antioxidant. It is an essential component for synthesizing collagen, the protein that acts like cement and steel, keeping our tissues, including our artery walls, strong and durable. When you're deficient in vitamin C, you are producing poor quality cement. Now, picture the perfect storm for a disaster. High blood pressure from insulin resistance, the pushing force, constantly presses against an artery wall that has been weakened by oxygen deprivation from smoking and a lack of collagen from a vitamin C deficiency. This ticking bomb is just a matter of time. And here are the strategic pillars to focus on for prevention and recovery. 1. End insulin resistance. This is priority number 1. By cutting down on processed sugars and starches, and by adopting practices like intermittent fasting, you can resensitize your body to insulin. This not only helps control blood sugar, but is also the most natural and effective way to lower your blood pressure. 2. Replenish essential minerals. Increase your intake of leafy green vegetables, avocados, and nuts to get enough potassium and magnesium. These are the natural electrical engineers that help stabilize your heart rhythm and relax your blood vessels. 3. Ensure you get enough vitamin C from vegetables like bell peppers, broccoli, and from berries. This is the raw material your body needs to produce high-quality collagen. 4. Stop poisoning your body. If you smoke, quitting is non-negotiable.
This is the single most powerful step you can take to increase oxygen flow to every cell and stop the destruction of your blood vessels.
If the worst has already happened, here is a recovery strategy. If you've unfortunately already experienced a TIA or a stroke, in addition to strictly following your doctor's treatment plan, there are several supportive strategies that I would personally focus on to optimize the brain's ability to recover. 1. DHA. This is a type of omega-3 fatty acid, and it is the primary structural component of your brain. After an injury, providing these high-quality building materials is absolutely critical. Numerous studies have shown that DHA helps reduce inflammation and supports neurological function. I would think of it as premium fuel for the brain's repair crew. 2. Niacinamide, a form of vitamin B3. This vitamin is a precursor to NAD+, a molecule that is essential for energy production in every cell. A brain that is in the process of healing needs a tremendous amount of energy. Supplying niacinamide is like making sure the cell's power plant is running at maximum capacity to fuel the regeneration process. 3. Intermittent fasting and the keto diet. These two approaches can trigger the body's powerful regenerative processes. They promote autophagy, which is the body's natural way of cleaning out damaged cells, and they increase the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein often called miracle-grow for the brain. It helps existing neurons survive and encourages the growth of new neurons and synapses. I know the information we've just discussed can be a lot to take in, but it all comes down to one principle. Understand the root cause instead of just treating the symptoms.
Stroke and heart attacks don't always begin with sharp pain. Sometimes they begin with a moment of confusion that disappears, and that's what makes it so dangerous. If you've ever experienced blurred vision, numbness, slurred speech, or brief dizziness that went away, do not ignore it. That might have been your body's final warning. You are not too old, you are not too late, but you must act today. Please share this video with someone you care about. Just one timely warning could save an entire life.